Welcome, G3 investors. This is Greg Gallagher coming to you from Sarasota, and this is live trading. It is for me. I don't know how to do anything other than make a video and present it later, but I promised you if it got to where I could find something interesting, the best thing to do is to show you a day when, I don't know. What about, hey, things haven't went the way I would have thought they would. Okay, so here's the stuff that I sent out to the tier two patrons. They got the setups for the day, and when in the morning the futures were hanging around a -1 handle. Okay, and then so I moved my stops up. Then it opened up, and first thing I said, hey, I'm taking a $500 position in SQQQ because it looked like the market was gonna. The market futures opened up and then they went lower. That's a signal to me that somebody is not going to do window dressing today, somebody big. I don't know who that is, but I'm trying to follow them. Well, we got stopped out of that for a $150 loss. Okay, so then my system went long in XLK, QQQ, IWF, and IJK. But I didn't like the action in this market, so I sent out a notice saying tighten your stops up from 2.5% to 2 to stop our potential loss, or the market could roll over. So let's see what happened. Well, I lost 150 on this one right here. Okay, so that's bad news, right? And then it went down here and it got really ugly. Now remember the tier 2 guys, I said it's the pivot is between 1920 and 1930. And they took this loss. So if they were newbies, they probably said, you SO, whatever. And, but what you do in trading, okay, you don't get biased one way or the other. You just let the market tell you what it wants to do. So the market came over here and it went right here and it went above the red line. So I took another 500 shares of SQQ, okay, wrote it up here. And each time now, my stop was set here at 52 cents. Okay, so I used the same stop again. So it went up here to 1936. And let's see, what's the low here? 1910. Okay, so I'm still in it. And then it takes off and it goes up here. Okay, now the peak is at 1986. But the 52 cents is now 54 cents so I didn't get out here. I'm still in it. Okay, but what's going to happen? Well, I'm probably going to get stopped out at 1940, okay, or 1942. But being a trader, I don't care because I got in at 1870. So at 1986 minus whatever, now I actually got my stop set right now at 1932. It's the low of this one. Okay. And this is just how I trade. Setting stops is no hard and fast rule. You got to use your own judgment. Everybody does it differently. Okay. I use the bars. Okay. I look at the bars and say, hey, I'm looking at 3 bars right here. And if that, because it went up and that's a reversing candle, it looks to me like this thing wants to reverse. And look, down here on our MACD, okay, our fast mover is starting to go down to meet the slow mover. And this is just the histogram down there. But, and I just use it as visualization. I'm not using this. This is nothing technical or anything. I'm just looking at it. When it's down here, I want to get in. This looks like a bottom to me. That looks like a top. That looks like a top. So I want to get out. Now, we got... Okay, what time is it? It's 3:56 p.m. Okay, on Tuesday, and it's beautiful outside, and my wife wants to go to the pool. What? So what do? Oh, do I go to the pool or do I trade here? I'm up $400 on this position. So do I take the money? It ain't a lot of money. It didn't do what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is skyrocket through here and go up another, 4 or 5 bars like this one. Okay, and so we'd be up $2,000, and then I could say, hey, why don't I just sell half of this position, this 500 shares here? Why don't I just sell half of that and see what happens overnight, because now I may yet get to do that, because I may take 200 instead of 300. Okay. It's whatever you're comfortable with. You got to learn to trade to your comfort level. I'm just showing you how to trade. I'm not telling you how. I'm not holding your hand. I can't do that. Even though I don't have the biggest service in the world, I got 69 or 70 people who follow me. You can't hold everybody's hand. But what you guys can do is you can spread the news and say, hey, look, this guy really shows us how to trade. Okay. And, right or wrong, he's at least showing us. He's showing us, hey, today I had, let's look at that. Let's call that up and take a look. Okay, here's how we've done so far today. Okay, not too good. Now, the last trade's not in here, but basically, I'm down, what is it? $239. Well, that sucks. That sucks. I don't like to lose. All right. But, we still got 2 minutes, So I've got to decide. I got 2 minutes to decide. Should I just go sell this and take the money and run? Or should I, hold a portion of it over? Well, this is such a choppy market. Okay. And I do think that, at some point, the whole world's going to realize that we've made the mistake made on this coronavirus isn't how the president of the United States is reacting to it. It's how we reacted to it as a world, the global elitists of the world, the so-called smartest people in the frickin' world, turned this thing into, and I know I get angry when people don't understand me. That people think, well, you're looking at the death stuff. Hey, my wife and I, today we had the guy that cleans our house over, and I've told my wife I've known this guy for about 20 years, and he's from another country, okay? His name's Ladislav. I won't tell you his last name, but he's a real nice guy. He's very bright, okay? And I remember telling people this story about how John Rockefeller, there's the market end. We don't do, that's my song. Okay. So what did I do? Well, I saved 300 of these shares. Okay. And so I didn't get out. Now, why did I do that? Why did I break my golden rule is that I shouldn't carry anything over to the next day? Well, it's because of how it reacted. You see what it did here? I didn't want to take a chance on the whole position, but I thought, hey, look at what happened here. At some point, as I was talking about this, at some point, this is going to hold the next day, and what we get to do, and this is really terrific. Okay. We get to see what they're going to start out doing. Why? How do we get to do that? What are you talking about? Well, we're just going to sit tight here and watch as the futures take over. So even though it's closed, the extended hours are still open. That means that they're trading in the after hours. They're trading these things. And let's change this to a 5-minute chart. And this is another thing you can do. Okay. I do it all the time. I can, just because a chart says, hey, I'm this or I'm that, doesn't mean anything. I can make this a 1-minute chart. Hey, you want to see a 1-minute chart? There's a 1-minute chart. Woo, look at that. Trade that, mother. Not me. Now, if you're a day trader and you're going in and out 20 times a day, that's what you use. Or maybe you use a 5-minute chart. I used to use the 5-minute chart. And that's a good chart to use. Okay. But if you got a lot of money, and I don't have a lot of money, okay, in this, I trade small. That's what happens. That's another way you can look at this thing, and you can see the same thing. Only it has a slightly different number here. The red number would have been here, but it went down. You would have got in again. You would have made money again. Okay. You would have got in again. So the same trading happened. We're just using this guide as our entry line. It doesn't mean anything. It just means this is the 20 period simple moving average. Okay. That's all it is. 20 periods. Those 20 periods they can be 25-minute periods. They can be 20 10-minute periods. I would never trade 21-minute periods. There's no reason, according to my way of thinking, you can trade 15 minutes. You can trade 30 minutes. You can trade days this way if you want to. Now what does that tell me right there? There's more information. Okay, see, here I've got a simple moving 20-day looking at a 50-day. And when this crosses and it goes back down here, this move here, this is what is called a Wyckofffian test of this low here, to me. Okay, at this gap up. Okay, now I could go back and do a lot more technical analysis, but why? I'm not trying to technically analyze the market like 1,000 other, I don't know, whoever the gurus are that write these market letters and stuff. And, if you want to know who those people are, I can tell you some, but none of them tell you how to trade. None of them teach you how to trade. Now, you want to trade individual stocks, I can tell you who to do that. You need to let me know that you want to do that. Okay? But here's before I go, and, I have to show you this coronavirus thing because it just drives me crazy that people, they can't get it. Look, folks, that is a lie. Now, Ladislav, our guy today, and my wife was very impressed with him today because we talked a little bit about the market, and this guy, he trades the market. So he's the shoe shine guy and the John Day Rockefeller thing. Okay, here's a guy who cleans my house and he trades the market. Okay, but he's sharp. Okay, he's sharp as heck. He knows. I showed him this thing and he goes, oh yeah, he says, China. He says, that doesn't make any sense. Well, Greg, 1.4 billion people in China and they only have 81,000? And he goes, and we have double that in the United States? He goes, I'm from a communist country. I immigrated to America to get away from these people. Now, he happened to be living in a country that is from a different, Russia was the communist involved. Senor Putin, although he left way before Putin. But trust me, this guy understands. And he said, he looked at this chart in 1 second. He goes, well, America's doing very good. Look, the ratio of the deaths to the cases. And he goes, these cases are a lot more than this, aren't they? And I go, yeah. I said, these are the serious cases. They've tested 945,000 people, or probably 1 million people now, over 1 million people. And this is how many deaths we have. Now, he goes, well, what's this down here? I go, well, this is the swine flu. And he looks at it. In 2 seconds, he goes, well, the swine flu is worse than this. And I go, yeah, a variation of the swine flu, what kills 51,000 people. And he says, I thought that number was only 31,000 the last time we talked. I said, it was, but that was 3 months ago. He goes, oh. And it's like, so this guy gets it. And yet I have people who I will show them this schedule and they will just literally, they'll look at it like me like, what kind of nut are you? And I'm a reasonable guy. I'm a CFO for 25 years. I'm just looking at reason. I'm looking at numbers to understand the facts, because if you watch TV, it'll scare you to death. And in particular today, because 3/4 of the media, now I used to be a huge special reports fan. I thought Brett Baer and Charles Krauthammer had it nailed, baby. And I don't read the Wall Street Journal. I would rather read Investors Business Daily. Why? Because all these media outlets are owned by the people who hate capitalism in a way. That they want control of the world. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, if you look into it and you read about it, you're going to find out it is absolutely true. I mean, the guys are all Democrats. Buffett's a Democrat. When I come from a very small town in Barnesville, Ohio, and probably 70% of the town is Democratic. And my mom was a Democrat her whole life. And when I started showing her this stuff, she's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And she's like, well, how long has this been going on? I tell her, hey, it's been going on a long time. But there you go. Well, now you got to admit, this is an unusual one. This is Greg Gallagher with G3 Investors saying good luck and good trading.